Kum Kum Devirasi, very happy to see you. Very happy to see you. Dandavat. Oh, your bookshelves growing behind you, unless we only see part of them sometimes.
We have a long way to go. We're getting much assistance for getting more books. Dandavat.
Dandavat, and devotees are coming together, assembling, putting arms and legs and bodies and heads, assembling the devotees. Assembled devotees. Jadu Gopal Prabhu. Jadu Gopal Prabhu, Dandavat, I've been waiting to see you, to give you an embrace and to give you affection and to give you thanks for your seva. Or arrived safely and appreciated and used very carefully.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Good, Maharaj. Good to see you, Maharaj.
Good to see you. Been missing you. I've been waiting to see you for a long time. So welcome.
Hare Krishna.
And for those of you who don't know Jadu Gopal Prabhu, he's in Limerick in Western Ireland and brought by Gopeshwar Prabhu, our dear disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj. From 1970, perhaps, a long time ago. So Gopeshwar Prabhu is doing continuous preaching, and Jadu Gopal Prabhu has come through his preaching and is a steady, sincere devotee. So please give him, please all of you give him your grace, your Vaishnava grace. Jai Jadu Gopal Prabhu. And all of you are good devotees, I know. Gauranathara Prabhu in Brazil, midnight. Oh, no, not midnight. It's afternoon. You're just relaxing. Yes. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh, yes. Not midnight. But it looks like midnight. Why is your room so dark? Hare Krishna. But Ananda Leela also there in Brazil. Leela Shakti Devidasi there in Brazil. And there is 3 in the afternoon. So welcome to you both and welcome to Minnie. Minnie is in Ireland. And Parama Bhakti in Brazil. Hare. And Clarissa is in Brazil. Yes, Minnie, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I heard your voice.
Hare Krishna.
She is fortunate to be born with Indian Hindu DNA.
Hare Krishna.
And she gives her life for others, means serving in the hospital and seeing so many things day and night in her life, trying to do good for others. And Vijayananda Prabhu, also from Ireland, from Limerick, with us. Whereas, yes, Vijayananda Prabhu here, and Saumya Shanam Prabhu, very good. And you're both, they were in Vrindavan recently. They're now with their batteries recharged back in Ireland. Govinda, Govinda, Hare Krishna. And one by one, Subhasini Devidas is showing her form with us too. She's on the other side of Ireland, Wexford, where they make the water purifying tablets that you buy in Nepal, as I found out. Just see the fame of Wexford. Hare Krishna.
That's Maharaj. Dandavats, all the devotees.
Dandavats. So we've come together and one by one, Shama Malini Devidas has come with us also. And Daniel, Dandavat Shama Malini Didi.
Dandavats, everybody.
If any of you speak French, you can speak French with her from Mauritius.
Yes, yes, yeah. Sure.
And Tungarasi Didi. And Devamrita Prabhu, Jim and Joel, welcome, Hare Krishna, coming from a back to basics, like regular, interested searchers. And Rupanuga Prabhu in Australia, in the dark, All right. If I missed anybody out, please excuse. We've come together. Well, maybe I didn't even mention Devashis Prabhu's name, because we all know he's hosting us in the East London, West London, the London chapter of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. They are hosting us. Devashis Prabhu hosting us. Yes. So let us begin, and let us begin in a good way. We'll start with, today we'll start with Om Gyantimanandasya, then to Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, but we want today, at least we will go through our Guru Parampara obeisances, because today is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. So let us chant his mantra, means Gurudev Gurumar Srila Saraswati Thakur, the Paramparas Pranam mantras. And then Namo Mahavaranyaya and Hare Krishna. We'll keep Yukta Vairagya. We'll keep everything practical. All right, so together, but with the microphones off. Om Agyan Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Then to Gurudev. Gurvabhista Supurakam Guru Ganaira Shisha Shambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanugam Govinda Vidham Ujvalang Varatanam Bhaktyanvitang Sundaram Vande Vishva Gurum Chadivya Bhagavat Prem No Hi Bija Pradham. To Guru Maharaj, Devam Divyatanam Sachandavadanam Balaka Chalantritam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidim Subhaktilasitam Sarasvatanambaram Bandetam Shubhadam Madhukesharanam Nyashishwaram Sridharam. And then to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his appearance day today. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati iti vidito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanayi Mayavada Timingilo Daragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdikahan Asukang Pradat Pradum Prabhum Tang Bhaje. And then to his Gurudev, Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. Namo Gora Kishoraya Bhaktavaduta Mutaye Gaurangri Padma Bringaya Radha Bhava Nishevane. And to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but primarily his guru, and secondarily or less, whatever, second, third, fourth, but primarily his guru. This is to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now, now I've lost the flow. What's the first line? Vande Bhakti Vinodanam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastra Gyasam Rajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim. And then to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Guru, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Okay, somebody give me the first line. Devashish. If I say
Gaura Braja.
Huh?
Gaura Braja.
Gaura Braja Shitasheshaya Vaishnaver Vandya Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhung Vande Premabdhing Vriddha Vaishnavam. Thank you very much. And then to Mahaprabhu, we will say Namo Mahavaranyaya. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvije Namaha. Panchatattva and Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And West London has joined us, Saraswati Devi Dasi, and some associates with her, Saraswati.
Dandava Maharaj. Here is Jagannath Prabhu and Sandra.
Oh, Jagannath and Sandra. Okay, I need to make the picture bigger to be able to see you without. Oh yes, Jagannath Prabhu, Dandavat. Yes, Sandra.
Say hello to them.
And here is Sridandi Maharaj too, by the way.
Sridandi Maharaj, wonderful. Dandavat. Everything going forwards, and very good to see you there in the London mat, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
And Maharaj Rajarshi Prabhu has joined also in San Jose. He is a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada and a very dedicated servitor of San Jose Ashram.
And okay, lovely. And a good example for us all. His nature is so sweet and humble and sincere. And Gurudev, the whole Guru Vaga must be pleased with him. We are very fortunate to have your association, Rajarshi Prabhu, and to meet you here. All right, I thought we may ask you to say a few words if you wish in a short while. I have a question. I know that Sripad Devashis Prabhu gave a title for today. Oh yes, Lion Guru Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now, what I would like to ask a question this time. Sometimes I'm asking you, would you like to ask a question? I can ask a question one way or another way, but one way is put up your hand if you, this is not judging, it's just to know how many of you have been hearing about or reading about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur today. So please put up a hand if you have not read anything or heard anything today about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay, yes, Jadagopal is always very busy. And Vijayananda Prabhu putting up a hand also not heard. And I can't see if there's a hand. Whose hand is that wearing yellow in London? I need to make it larger.
Devananda
Prabhu.
Oh, Devananda Prabhu. Very good. Yes, Hare Krishna. Now I can see you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Anjali Devi Dasi, our youthful blonde lady. Happy to have you with us.
Yes, lovely. I'm happy to be here with you, to see you.
Beautiful.
And everybody, all the devotees. And Devashis Prabhu in the corner, who I was watching on Sunday.
Okay. So, okay, so most of you have heard something or read something specifically today about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This we can say. And for those who haven't, then please do try to make a little time to do so. Later today is also close to the end of your day. Or, today, tomorrow also, we can always remember Srila Saraswati Thakur. And today, if you wish, I can just say a little something about being in the mat for many of this particular day. For many times we're in the mat, we're with Gurudev, and we also were blessed not only to be with Gurudev, but also to be with Guru Maharaj on this day in the previous years, in the 1980s. And I can say that the mood of Guru Maharaj and year by year, the mood of Gurudev is that this was like a happy day for them. So the mood in the temple was always like a positive and like a special day. And we do say, that when we read the books, we say it and we feel it too, that each book that we read of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, it's the best book ever. And every chapter we read, we really feel it's the best chapter ever. Every paragraph we read, like the best paragraph ever. But Srila Saraswati Thakur's festival day is like one of those best festivals ever. And is a best festival ever, as is Guru Maharaj, Gurudev. I mean, we're not diminishing any other festival, but the joy with which Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, glorifies Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and in relation to Guru Maharaj, in relation to our Sampradaya, of course, but especially in relation to Guru Maharaj. Like Gurudev's joy is just overflowing. And he often, in English, he'd have to like think about the words and think about the expressions and things. But really on this day, we would generally find that Gurudev would be flowing in whatever language he chose to speak. It's kind of unstoppable for him to come out with the glories of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And we did not know Srila Prabhupada in person. We know him from his Vani, from his teachings, from his books, and he brought us to Krishna consciousness. And so we have a little idea of Srila Prabhupada, and we have a little idea of Guru Maharaj, and we have a little idea of Gurudev, Govinda Maharaj. We can't say we have a full idea, but really there was the like very strong feeling that Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, his glorification of Saraswati Thakur was as though he really knows him, that he has met him, and that he's like been a student or been sitting with him. And this was told by Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj told about Govinda Maharaj that it is as though he'd been with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and knew him more so than most of my godbrothers who did have his extensive association. This is Guru Maharaj's like certificate, if you like, but glorification, description also of Srila Govinda Maharaj. Because remember that Guru Maharaj would ask Gurudev, Govinda Maharaj, to give talks, and no doubt on this day, over the course of many years, because Gurudev
talk about Bhakti Siddhanta. Oh yeah, it's alive.
So Gurudev, he was with Guru Maharaj from 1947. So for decades he was with Guru Maharaj, and he has on many occasions been asked by Guru Maharaj to give a talk in his presence. Okay, now Govinda Maharaj, you say something. And Gurudev told that he was very nervous to speak in front of Guru Maharaj, because he said, I never wanted to say anything wrong because I know how much Guru Maharaj expected of me. And I know it will hurt him if I will give any wrong message, wrong mood, or say anything wrong in a lecture, in a talk. So Guru Maharaj had heard Gurudev's lectures for many years. And this is Guru Maharaj, who's completely an impartial person in his own description. Guru Maharaj described himself as being impartial, that he is not, has no ambition for anything, he's not promoting anything. He was completely impartial, and that's why even those who were opposing this party, that party, they all came to him. And they came to him because of his impartial judgment, his impartial presentation of Krishna consciousness. He's not trying to bend anything in any way for any purpose except clean Krishna consciousness. So Guru Maharaj's impartial view of Srila Gurudev was that he was very nicely, very properly representing Srila Saraswati Thakur as though he'd had his association. And so in Srila Govinda Maharaj, we had Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. We are always feeling that we had Guru Maharaj in Gurudev. This, you can say everybody who understood a little bit of Srila Gurudev's position means quality. They knew that his whole life and soul is Guru Maharaj. And we also felt and knew that Srila Gurudev was carrying that message and mood and generosity of Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we've felt much loss after Gurudev's disappearance. Many devotees felt much loss after Gurudev's disappearance, because really, with his disappearance, it was like our close connection with Srila Prabhupada, with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and himself, Govinda Maharaj, all like departed from the world. They disappeared from the world at that time, and then all of the student section, the children's section, were all trying to then stand on our feet and carry out their instructions and guidance and remember and read the things that they've guided us to continue our devotional life. But when we think about today and our remembrance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and how he, and his great importance, his great nature, like by him we are all here today. By him not only we are here today, but the Sampradaya of, well, Rupanuga Sampradaya, but the line from Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Gauriya Vaishnava Sampradaya, then that became again visible and reinstated in its dignity by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Gurudev also very much, as Guru Maharaj pointed out, carrying like that direct message and flow of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to us and to the world. So this connection, this like living understanding of our gurus, our grand gurus, our grand gurus like this, it was very much alive, and we never ever and still don't think that, like, for instance, the Guru Maharaj was a historic figure. Okay, well, let's look up some facts and figures about Guru Maharaj, a history figure. Or that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a history figure. Srila Prabhupada, a history figure. And of course, Gurudev himself, we can never for a moment think like a history figure. They're all like living and very much present. And what are they present in? They're present in their teachings. So now we ourselves have responsibility. Each of us have got responsibility to try to put our actions where our heart has been like touched and drawn to, the teachings of our masters, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and our whole family. What have we been drawn to? We need to be drawn to this not only with the knowledge to know something, but to put it into practice. So in one sense, our best appreciation for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is that we try to keep that purity and maintain a lifestyle, a life standard of the dignity that he showed Vaishnavism to be. Up until that time, we heard year after year and so many times, up to the time of, well, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we can say, then what had become of this Vaishnava Sampradaya, or the general view of the Vaishnavas, due to the vast majority, like misbehaving and just, you can say, exploiting the name of Gauranga and doing all sorts of things in his name, and basically to beg something, and they had no proper conduct, no proper understanding of the Siddhanta, and they brought basically a bad name to Vaishnavism. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he recognized the dignity of what Mahaprabhu had given, and he saw the contrast between that and what was being practiced. And it is his prayer that brought Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to this world. I mean, literally, we can think 150 years ago, Srila Saraswati Thakur appeared in 1874. And sorry, 1874, yeah, 1874, got to get the centuries right here. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared in 1874. So 150 years ago, we can really be thinking that at that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was praying earnestly to the Lord to please send one of your own persons here, because I cannot do what is needed. What's needed is a strong, capable preacher who's going to come and set right what is the dignity of Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's teaching, the Vaishnavism, what should be Vaishnavism. What is Vaishnavism? Mahaprabhu has brought that in its purest, ultimate form. So 150 years ago, then Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he's praying for an agent to come from the upper world to this world. And then 2 years later, because he's born in 1974, we can say. So in 1874, Srila Saraswati Thakur appeared. And he is the one who carried out, as Guru Maharaj has explained, carried out what was in the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That is what Srila Saraswati Thakur distributed to the world. This purification of the Sampradaya, establishing the Vaishnavism as the highest of the highest, not just, oh, it's a dignified line, it's a good line, they're good people, they're pious people, but showed that the highest thing. And when he was challenged, perhaps in the newspaper, but he was challenged in some way, and about the Gaudiya Math, it's teaching slavery, this, that, and the other. And Srila Saraswati Thakur's response also at that time was that the Gaudiya Math stands for the dignity of the human race. This kind of very strong, powerful assertion as a reaction for being accused that they're teaching low things, Srila Saraswati Thakur gave so much energy to show that the Vaishnav, the real Vaishnavism, it is more than Brahmanism or this ism or any ism. It is the ultimate proper usage of everybody's energy, not an ism as such, but because labels are needed in this world, then Vaishnavism, those who worship Vishnu Tattva. But Gauranga gave us that highest quarter. So Srila Saraswati Thakur very strongly preaching, and how much gratitude and how much appreciation and sweetness is shown about Srila Saraswati Thakur and by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev in our life, that we have seen their flow, their joy in being asked to say anything about Srila Saraswati Thakur. So anyhow, from a little bit of a, having been in the festivals, we just want to say it's a happy day. We saw that this is a very happy day. Happy day for Gurudev, a happy day for Guru Maharaj. And they would recite the various Jayare, Jayare, Jaya Paramahansa Mahasaya, and this and the, I don't have it in front of me, I don't know off by heart, but Bhaya Banjana, maybe Devashish knows that first line. I forget the first line, but
Bhaya Banjana Jaya Sansana. Now I can't remember that.
Dot. Okay, dot. These dots are very useful. Anyhow, so they would recite those. And I think most of you, because only maybe 3 or 4, they said, no, we haven't heard today. I think most of you have already today sung these, read the translations of these. And these songs and Sujana Buddha Radita Pada Yugang, these songs and their meaning, they are giving us the authoritative in the way of the genuine, the solid description of who is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What is his nature? What is his mission? And all of those kind of things coming through these authorized kirtans describing about the law, about Srila Saraswati Thakur, and 2 of those are by Guru Maharaj. And the 3rd one was approved of by Srila Saraswati Thakur. It was handed to him. Gurudev, I haven't heard recently to remind me the proper Leela, but it was handed to Srila Saraswati Thakur on his appearance day, and as an offering. And he read through it, and he started to read through, and then he read it all through, and then he handed it to a devotee to sing. And Gurudev said, and by him doing that means that he gave a tick mark that it is approved. Because Saraswati Thakur also, he's independent. I mean, independent means he knows who he is, and he knows what's right and wrong, and he knows what is appropriate. So anyhow, that was certified, that Jaya Re, Jaya Paramahamsa Mahasaya Kirtan. But the other 2, Sujana Buddharadita and Bhayabanjana, both of those are composed by Guru Maharaj and joyfully glorified in all their aspects by Srila Gurudev. And I know if we've come to London today, in a way, we've come to London, we're in London, and I did hear through the grapevine, it's been very windy, and one of the verses in the Bhayabanjana, no, the Jaya Re song is saying about, he was like a hurricane. What is that verse?
Clearing the clouds or something, it says, isn't it?
Okay. Where's the hurricane verse? I quoted it. Pure devotion. Okay. Pure devotion is like the sun risen in the heart, while the path of logic is like clouds covering that sun. By churning the ocean of the scriptures, you, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, spread perfect conclusions in all directions, like a hurricane to disperse the clouds. So, seeing as we're in London, we've got this little quote to remind you. And by the way, it's been windy here, and this evening, our evening Aarti to Gurudev in the Pushpa Samadhi, because the days are a little longer now, it's actually light when we do the evening Aarti here. Now, I mean, just recently it was dark, but now it's light. And how clear the mountains are from here, we can see like very clearly. Sometimes the mountains are near, like now, we can almost just in 20 minutes, we can walk there to the top of the mountain. And sometimes they're so far away, it take a month to get there. And sometimes they're invisible. And not exactly related to Srila Saraswati Thakur, but the day before yesterday in the morning, we came out for the morning arati, the morning worship of Srila Gurudev at the Pushpa Samadhi. And really it was mystic that the cloud, there's a valley here in front of us, and there's a village on the other side, and there's a church. But the cloud was thick to a certain level. So it was gray cloud, and it's early in the morning, so that very early light which is there. And in that, above the cloud, like there's a solid line, and above the cloud, there were domes that really looked like Chaitanya Saraswat mat in the sky. Like there were the domes in the sky. And we're all like looking and thinking, what, like, are we getting a revelation here? I mean, we're not really thinking that, but it was really astounding. And then none of us have got a camera with us because we don't always have a phone in our pocket, believe it or not. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, we'll do the parikrama and then I'll go and get the camera and take a photograph. But just after one parikrama, then the cloud was moving and then we could see. I've never in all the time here seen like that. And it was the top of the church. It does actually, if you just look at the top of the church, it actually looks like the top of one of our temples, you know, that main part and then with the domes around. But normally it doesn't look like that at all, but it was so strong and we were all like rubbing our eyes and thinking, what is this? And it also looked very high in the sky. It was very peculiar. Anyway, just a little mention about here. But now the wind has come and everything is blown away, and it's also cleared the air here. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, of purifiers I am the wind. For all of those of you who were about to say water, but you weren't going to say water, were you? Because we were talking about wind. Hare Krishna. And I won't ask you any other trick questions. For instance, of aquatics I am. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Everyone's afraid to answer the question now, right?
He says, I'm the shark.
Aha! No. This is a trick question, because actually it says, at least in the writing, in the translation, in our Gita, of aquatics, I am Varuna, and of fishes, I am the shark. So anyway, but of purifiers, I am the wind. It's interesting. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, this example, like a hurricane, not only a wind, like a hurricane to disperse all the misconception, the clouds of misconception and mayavad. The path of logic, while the path of logic is like clouds covering that sun. Hare Krishna. All right. Anyway, then, seeing as you have all been hearing about Srila Saraswati, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur today, most of you, every one of you can now share something that you've heard about the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And today, let us start with Kum Kum Devidasi, if you like, and then we can pass over the microphone to the West London Temple, to Saraswati and team in the West London Temple to share something. That'll give you a moment to prepare something to say about Srila Saraswati Thakur. And then we'll come to Devashis Prabhu, who we know has always got an ocean, a reservoir of things to share with us, with the floodgates ready to open. So Kum Kum Devirasi, would you like to share something with us about Srila Saraswati Thakur?
My dandavats to all the Vaishnavas, and it's true as Maharaj was mentioning, that by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj, we all feel closer to all of our Guru Varga. And this is true even for those who have Diksha from Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, because of the depth that he took us to understand better, so much better, what our teachings were, which were mostly from Srila Saraswati Thakur. But my favorite thing to remember today, if I may, I can read something, which is a Vyas Puja offering from Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, which he gave to Srila Saraswati Thakur in 1935. It was published in the Harmonist. Adore ye all the happy day, blessed than heaven, sweeter than May, when he appeared at Puri, the holy place, my Lord and Master, his divine grace. O my Master, the evangelic angel, give us thy light, light up thy candle, struggle for existence, a human race, the only hope, his divine grace. Misled we are, all going astray. Save us, Lord, our fervent pray. Wonder thy ways to turn our face, adore thy feet, your divine grace. Forgotten Krishna, we fallen souls, paying most heavy the illusion's toll. Darkness around, all untrace, the only hope, his divine grace. Message of service thou hast brought, a healthful life as Chaitanya wrought. Unknown to all, it's full of grace. That's your gift, your divine grace. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast moved. This gives us a life, anew and fresh. Worship thy feet, your divine grace. Had you not come, who had told the message of Krishna, forceful and bold? That's your right, you have the mace. Save me a fallen, your divine grace. The line of service as drawn by you is pleasing and healthy like morning dew. The oldest of all, but in new dress, miracle done, your divine grace. One thing that is remarkable to me about this beautiful poem is that Srila Saraswati Thakur was always very happy to see the expertise of the English language, thinking of his disciples going outside of India to preach. And this poem is not just broken English, it's the most expert, beautiful poetry that we've practically ever heard. So if we look at every single stanza there, they're all very significant. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast moved or removed. Very poetic way of saying gone.
Okay, I better turn my microphone on, right? Jai, that is beautiful. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Where did you find it?
This one is in kksongs.org. Shall I put the link in the chat?
Please do, yes. Please
Okay.
do. And I'll be sure to copy the link out, because I know that if we forget to copy something from the chat box, it disappears when the Zoom closes. So let us copy it out. Hare Krishna. Yes, very wonderful. Kum Kum Devirasi. Thank you very much. And again, there we are. We see we've got the glorification coming from Srila Prabhupada to Srila Saraswati Thakur. Wonderful. And West London Temple, I see you're already highlighted. Then it's a sign. Kum Kum Devi, thank you very much.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat to Devashis Prabhu and all the devotees. Just wanted to introduce you to Satish from Jaipur.
Aha, Satish, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
He's been coming for a while now. It's been more than a month. Serving and really happy here.
Yes, I'm really happy here meeting wonderful people following Hare Krishna. Actually, I'm from Jaipur, the pink city. So I live close by the Govindaji temple. If you know Govindaji temple in Jaipur.
I think of it almost every morning. I really do. It's a wonderful example of enthusiastic devotees, the public, coming every morning for Mangalati. So many people come. Naturally, what a wonderful example in the world.
They go 4 o'clock in the morning for the Mangala Arti and they do chanting, you know, people are doing chanting, like more than 1,000 people, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I live very close to Govindaji temple in Jaipur. So Hare Krishna is my neighbor, yeah.
You are very fortunate. What are you doing in London?
Actually, first I came to London in 2010. So I used to work as an IT engineer, software engineer. But because of Corona and all this stuff, then I have started my own business, which is jewelry business.
Okay. Anyhow, Jaipur is one of those very special places for us, for all of us. It's the home of Govindaji, Rupa Goswami's deity. And really, I practically every morning think of Jaipur. And one of the things, before the deities open in the morning, like Satish is saying, like 4 a.m., and really early, actually the very first Arti in the whole of Jaipur takes place at Govindaji temple. Exactly. There is the first Arati, then so many other temples. After that, they will do their Arati there. But as the devotees, pilgrims, the local people are waiting, they're chanting also, waiting for the doors to open. Then the man comes with a big key to turn in the lock, and then they get more excited, more excited. It's really a wonderful atmosphere and a wonderful example of what Krishna consciousness is. It's not a small thing. It's actually should be everybody's life. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the whole world was like that?
Yes, true, very true.
But there is a world which is like that. It's just that we are not there.
No, we are not.
Hare Krishna. So let us try to go there. Satish, happy to meet you. Now let us hear something from
Anjali Didi.
From Anjali. Okay, Anjali.
Well, I'm completely not prepared to say. I was thinking just to come and listen to you, and lovely to hear Kum Kum read that beautiful poem.
Yes.
All I can say, just to start with, is that I can't believe my great fortune that I've had in my life. Today I'm spending it with the devotees, celebrating the wonderful auspicious occasion of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's holy appearance. And having heard something from him, from Guru Maharaj, from our beloved Guru Dev, and indeed from Prabhupada, we know how fortunate we are, because without him we wouldn't be sitting here today. You know, he hadn't arrived upon the scene. Something I heard today, which I thought was very sweet, is we are all sparks of the Supreme Lord from his glorious energy. But Bhakti Siddhanta was actually a ray, a complete ray. And he was famous for his golden hue. He was always, Guru Maharaj was always talking about his beauty and how he was, the sun would shine upon, and he was golden. This is, we've heard, So, of course, because he comes from the world of beauty, is the transcendental world. He was a transcendental, wonderful agent that was sent to help us and save us from this mundane catastrophe where we have found ourselves in. So I can just, so many things about his glories, but I can just say how grateful I am to have come from the line, his line, which he started this, Mahaprabhu's telling all of the truth and everything about what really was Mahaprabhu. He gave all this to us we are getting through our gurus, or from Guru Maharaj, from Guru Dev, from Prabhupada, but they all come from his lotus lips, his lotus person. And I'm just deeply grateful, and I can't believe my fortune to have come in connection with the line that he actually started of Mahaprabhu, our sweet Lord Chaitanya Dev.
Jai. And you speak for us all, for our gratitude, and none of us would be here, and none of the world would be here without Saraswati Thakur. It is a fact. In this line, I mean, what we mean to say.
In this line.
Yes. Saraswati.
I'm passing the microphone to Jagannath Prabhu. He wanted to say something.
Yes, Jagannath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanavats, all devotees present. I would just like to say a couple of things that I heard many years ago about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Three things. One, he was a Naishtiki Brahmachari, which I understand everybody would understand what that is. And he had a photographic memory, and he could narrate every word of everything he ever heard verbatim, and everything he'd ever seen in the greatest detail. And to the extent that when he was only 7 years old, he could give discourse on the Bhagavad Gita. Those three things stick in my mind about thinking about
Jai.
Saraswati.
And which he had remembered at that age, the entire Bhagavad Gita. It was already in his memory. Yes, amazing things. And these are all part of the qualities of Srila Saraswati Thakur from the beginning of his life. And even the very beginning of his life, he was born with his umbilical cord, like a Brahmin thread. And those who were there, everyone is looking and say, oh, this is extraordinary. And symptoms from the very beginning and a very young age, then he was showing his Vaishnavism and his capacity. Jai Prabhu, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And your voice is very much similar to Chidandi Maharaj's voice too. If I close my eyes and hear, I may not recognize you apart. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Sandra wanted to say something as well.
Very, very small, man. I am complete novice to this. The only thing I can say is here in the temple, I don't know if you've ever been here, there's 4 pictures up, right? 4 pictures. And today I learned about the last picture on the line, which was, yeah, today. So now I know who the last picture on the line is. Nothing else.
Learning quick.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Today is a good day to learn about that picture. And Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Dandavat Maharaj. Yeah, I just want to say, actually today, what a wonderful day I've had today, and hearing all the glories of, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. And I was thinking when I woke up this morning, if it hadn't been for Bhakti Siddhanta, we wouldn't have had Prabhupada, Srila Maharaj, and all the teachings, the simplified teachings, brought to us. So, I've been thinking about Bhakti Siddhanta all day, and remembering him all day, and he had so much compassion, and it's because of him that Krishna consciousness has been spread all over the world, and I'm so grateful to him.
Jai, many thanks. Coming to the London Temple, we're very happy to hear from those in the London Temple, to hear from you. And Saraswati yourself.
I'm very happy to be hearing from all of you, and I think that maybe it's good to pass the microphone to Devashis Prabhu, otherwise he won't get a chance.
No, he'll get a chance. But it's true. What happened to the clock? I was thinking I'm only going to say a few words because everybody's already heard something. So Devashis Prabhu, please excuse, the clock is going fast, but we don't have to be exactly on time, do we? But Devashis Prabhu, please open one of the gates of the reservoir of your Qatar of Srila Saraswati Thakur.
I was thinking a lot today. In fact, I spoke earlier at the Green Street Mott for about 2.5 hours, and I would have gone on for longer if they hadn't stopped. But everybody knows what I'm like. But I'm thinking very much about this pranam mantra that Guru Maharaj composed for Saraswati Thakur, Nikhila Bhuvanamaya, that shloka, that pranam mantra. Yes. And there's a very nice article by Srila Govinda Maharaj, as you're saying, like how he speaks as if he were an associate of Saraswati Thakur, and Guru Maharaj more or less verified that, as you mentioned. And so that is, you'll find that in the affectionate guidance, and it's called the voice of Sri Chaitanya Dev. I was going to read that, but maybe it's a little too long for the time we have left. But that mantra itself that Guru Maharaj composed, I love it very much. I always include that as part of my vandana at home, and if I'm giving some talk anyway. But this is what Guru Maharaj himself, Srila Maharaj, said about this pranam mantra. He said, although outwardly he was like a lion, inwardly he was very, very sweet. Yet it could be traced only in his internal sweetness. Outwardly, the way of love was worshipped by him with grandeur and awe and reverence, but his object was the simple and beautiful divine love of Vrindavan. And his temperament in establishing that in the world was just like a lion. After his departure, I described his life in one shloka. If he were living today, I think he would say that Sridhar Maharaj has imprisoned me in a cage of poetry. Then the verse is, the pranam, Nikila Bhuvana Maya, Chinna Bichinna Kartri, Vibudo Bahulam Rigya, Mukti Mohanta Datri, Shitivita Vidiraga, Radya Rade Shadani, Vilasaturidi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Vani. With his first step, he vigorously cut asunder the whole plane of exploitation. And with his second, he's put a stop to all the calculation, the liberated stages. With his third step, he minimized the hardness and stiffness of the rules and regulations of calculative devotional service by a touch of divine love. Crossing Vaikuntha, he has given us the worship of Radha Govinda. Calculation, the rules and regulations, awe, reverence, all these things are minimized, checked, slackened with the softness of Vrindavan within, and with the hardness of a devastator without. He created havoc in the materialistic world, fighting with one and all, single-handedly fighting against the whole world and cutting asunder everything. That was his external attitude. And his second attitude was to put a stop to all scholarly researchers and doctorates of different departments and to stop their boasting research. And third, to minimize, to slacken the grandeur of the worship of Narayan. He caused the domain of love to descend into this plane with the service of Radha Govinda, establishing the flow of divine love from the heart as all in all. With that, we come to serve our object of worship, and he represented the service of Radha Govinda as the highest attainment. That was his history. The real existence of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is in Bhakti Siddhanta Vani, his divine teachings. May that Bhakti Siddhanta Vani dance eternally within the core of your heart. What can we say more than that? And actually, I'm reminded after that, Srila Goswami Maharaj told us, that when they were preparing the Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, substantially the first book in the English language of Srila Guru Maharaj's teachings, then they came to show it to Guru Maharaj after it was published. And that time Guru Maharaj's eyesight was very poor. And, if he wants to read anything, he has to put it like this, more or less this close to his face. So Goswami Maharaj was going through the book page by page and telling, this is what the title says, and this is what it says here, and this picture's here, and this is the caption of the picture. And then he said, when I came to the part where there's a picture of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur there, and he said, I was a little afraid to read the caption because it's heavy. And he said, we wrote there, and it's that picture of Saraswati Thakur, I believe, with the, sitting with the beard and, that famous picture. And it says, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the founder of the Gaudiya Math. And then it says, he declared totalitarian war on all misconception and on all other conceptions of religion as well. And when Goswami Maharaj read that to Guru Maharaj, he said, I was feeling a little afraid that maybe it's too heavy, maybe it's too much. But instead of being, upset or, disturbed by that, Guru Maharaj put his hands to his forehead and he said, if you had not said anything else about him in this book, he would be fully represented here. So that we can see, you know, that's what, and we see in Guru Maharaj's composition in his song, he's written, you know, Singha Guru, the lion guru, that outwardly he's like a lion, like very fearful. And Guru Maharaj himself said, the first time when I saw Saraswati Thakur, my feeling was, you know, my immediate feeling was, here is a man who doesn't care anything for this world. In other words, he's not concerned with this world in any way whatsoever. He's of another plane entirely. So, you know, then, but that was only his external approach. And Guru Maharaj said, he said, outwardly like a lion, but inwardly soft like a rose, and very affectionate to his devotees. So much so that when they made the first Vyasa Puja festival, and you know, they made offerings to him and all of these things on his appearance day, and when he, in response, addressed the devotees, he said, "Oh, my brothers, you are all my saviors. You have all come here to save me." And Guru Maharaj said, his thinking was that, you know, of course, the Guru, he gets his service is successful if he makes disciples. But Saraswati Thakur is not thinking of his disciples as being like his property or his servants or anything like that. Rather, Guru Maharaj explained, you know, he's thinking, I am one man, and my responsibility is everything. The temple, the worship of the deity, the cooking, the cleaning, the preaching, the book distribution, the publishing, like all of these responsibilities, they're all mine alone. But I'm only one man, and it is not possible for me to do that. So Krishna has sent you all here to assist me, and in this way you have come to save me. You are all my saviors. So this is his thinking, and very beautiful. And as Devananda Prabhu just said a few minutes ago, because of him, Krishna consciousness has spread all over the world. Without him, there is no Krishna consciousness. Without him, there is no International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There is no Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. There is no preaching of Krishna consciousness in the world. So whatever anyone may say, he is the cause of that. He is the cause of Krishna consciousness all over the world. That's no small thing. And we feel ourselves to be extremely grateful, extremely blessed, unbelievably blessed. Our lives have become unbelievably blessed by Krishna consciousness because of him. Then, you know, Gurudev, as Maharaj said, Gurudev and Guru Maharaj were both very happy on this day. And why will you not be happy on this day? It's the most wonderful day, the most glorious day, the day of the redemption of mankind, the day of the saving of the world, the day when Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prophecy that the day will come where every intelligent man and woman in the world will embrace the religion of love as given by Sri Chaitanya Dev as the only panacea for what ails us in this world. That day dawned on the appearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and that prophecy is being fulfilled all over the world by his mercy alone. So we are always so much indebted to him, and praying, beggars at his feet for his continued grace upon us all and upon the whole world. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Wonderful. So now nobody can put up a hand and say they've not heard anything about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur today. Because really substantial from each of the devotees who've given us some reflection. From Sandra today, who's learned about who is Srila Saraswati Thakur. and from Jagannath Prabhu, who without him we will not be here. Here we are. And like all the way through Devananda Prabhu and Saraswati, all giving contribution. And Kum Kum Devidasi revealing for the first time that I've heard that poem by Srila Prabhupada. And Rajarshi Prabhu, very happy to see you. You're looking just the same as when I last saw you, which is a few years ago.
Yes.
Just the same young man.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
People.
All right, dear devotees, the family of Srila Saraswati Thakur, the very trunk of the tree of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the 19th, well, no, the 20th, you could say 20th and 21st century, the very trunk of this tree of Srila Bhakti, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's presentation to the world. This is the family, we are one family together, and let us try to honor also, show our respect and honor by keeping the purity of what Srila Saraswati Thakur fought so hard to give. Let's not let that get lost. And Gurudev said, oh, in due course of time, everything will change. 50 years, 100 years, we cannot say. But Krishna also says that in Gita. But Mahaprabhu came, gave the highest gift, and now Srila Saraswati Thakur has come and shown that highest gift in a very strong way. We must be very careful to maintain this and not let the corruption of the teachings and the behavior of the devotees and everything slip into disrepute, as it did after Mahaprabhu. Presently, there was always the current, but it became thinner and thinner. And now Srila Saraswati Thakur has opened that up into a grand river, a grand flood, instead of a current, a thread, which is coming along. Hare Krishna. All right, dear devotees, the clock is going around, and I do know Devashish has left us just now, but I know Devashish always has got busy schedule after these programs too. And so I appreciate and the presence of so many of you, all of you who've come together today. And for many, from early this morning, from 4 a.m. London time this morning, right the way through till now, and now continuing with the programs there, like a full day where we pray that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that Guru Maharaj, Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada also, they may be satisfied by our humble attempts to say something to represent them, and at least to put some big signboards up to say, please try to understand the nature of our guardians by our guardians themselves. Through Gurudev, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, we can understand about Saraswati Thakur, and through those who've captured that and kept cleanly that understanding. Whatever we have, we may only understand something, but we try to understand properly and share that. And if we don't know something, we must say, oh, I do not know. And this way we want to be a signboard to our great masters who've come with the greatest gift. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Devashish Prabhu, because you had a shorter time than usual, maybe this week, please, you give the key jais this week, and please include all of the wonderful devotees who have come here to be with us too.
Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Kuluchuramani Sava Shastra Siddhanta Srila Bhakti Rakak, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada Abirbhav Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishwabaranyam Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Rupa Nuga Guru Bhargya ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Jai Kum Kum Devi ki jai. Jai Saraswati Didi ki jai. Jai the West London Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. East London Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Worldwide Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. And Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
And Jai Sriman Devashis Prabhu ki jai. And to each of you, one by one, ki jai. And our obeisances to each other as we return to our homes. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And of course, we could make a little comment there about when Srila Saraswati Thakur given a lecture in Mayapur, then everyone's returning to their homes. And then he's saying, why are you all cheating me? You came to hear about Krishna and surrender. Now you are all leaving to go to your home. So more comments, many things come up about the life and pastimes of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Lion Guru. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to one and all. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.